Where else?
No, I don't.
Father Bill.
No, it isn't.
Oh, yes, it is.
You didn't know that? I didn't know that. Yeah, sure.
Good evening, everyone. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone that's here and those watching on TV. Mayor's report, I just have a few things. First of all, from myself and the city of Hermann, I'd like to send condolences to the Bartell family. John Bartell has passed away. He was our mayor from 1990 to 96. A great fella. Just wanted to send our condolences. Also, so the public is aware, Hermann Fire Company will be testing fire hydrants tomorrow night, the 28th, from 6 till 9. The only problem you may have is sometimes when they do the hydrants, it clouds the water, so if you're doing laundry, your water may be a little brown. So, the other big thing that happened today, we have an isolated incident where a homeowner's water had E. coli. So we've been doing samples and in touch with the DNR, and the DNR has made us do what we call a boil water order notice. So I'm going to read this notice here. It's short. Out of an abundance of caution and at the request of the Missouri Department of Natural Resources, the City of Hermann has issued a citywide boil water order until further notice. What you need to do, boil all water used for drinking, cooking, food preparation, brushing your teeth. Bring the water to a boiling point for 3 minutes before you use. The reason for the order, it's a single resident. However, because the city's water distribution system is interconnected, the Department of Natural Resources requires that a precautionary citywide boil order be implemented. The city is actively addressing the situation and will notify residents as soon as the boil order is lifted. We appreciate your cooperation and apology for the inconvenience out of our control. But anyway, I'll move it over to City Administrator. Your turn.
Yeah, safety first, of course, and we have to have 2 clean tests at that location before they'll lift the order. And to expedite the process, Jason drove the water sample up to Jeff City today to save a day delay in the courier carrying it that way. So we will let everyone know as soon as we. Okay, just a couple things here. I think last meeting I told you that we were kind of scant on applications for the street foreman position. I did go ahead and do some online advertising and did get a handful of applications from that, most of which are at least worthy of an interview. So we do have interviews set up this week, and we'll probably have a couple more yet. The finance clerk has been already busy working on providing information to the auditor for our annual audit. And she also is working on the investments that we've been talking about. And we can get you some more details on that maybe by email this week. The lead service line DNR grant that we've been working on for a long time now, our contractors are still not done, and the deadline was the end of August. So DNR is being very, very accommodating on that, and they have granted us an extension so that we don't want to rush the contractor. We want to make sure we are getting good, accurate information, because it's really important that be completely accurate before we go into phase 2 of the remediation. So we do have that extension on that first part of the grant. There will likely be a planning and zoning meeting on September 2nd. It is, they haven't met in a little while. It is for just a simple lot subdivision. Those do not require a public notice or a public hearing, but after they review it, it will come back up to you all for, they'll bring a recommendation to you for final approval. Recently I've attended the regular landmarks meeting. They had a special landmarks meeting the park board meeting, a strategic planning session with the school district, and a floodplain webinar. And just by way of reminder, I think everybody knows that the city will be closed on September 7th in observance of Labor Day. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We have no public comments, no old business. We'll move right into new business. Mr. Dearbird's Christmas Festival presentation.
Well, thank you for your time. My name's, I guess for the record, you have to do this. But anyway, James Dearbird. And we have the Hermann Winery and some distilleries and a brewery here in town, which I think you all know that anyway. But anyway, that's with that background, we wanted to talk to you about something that's sort of been on our mind for a couple of years, really. Hermann, but to back up for a minute, Hermann has done a marvelous job. I mean, you have to really think about how unique Hermann is. Hermann, you know, Forbes and I think had you as the most beautiful town, and there's been all these wonderful things said, which are all true. So you have to really thank really not only the Board of Aldermen, but I mean, there's just so many people involved in it. I mentioned it in the letter that you have, and we probably only mentioned maybe half the people. If you sit down and start thinking about it, you know, it is a community project, and all the recent ones are really surprisingly to me, I guess, really stupendous, like the courthouse. I was this last fall driving up the hill to go out of town to leave it, go across the bridge, but I was driving up the hill and there's something different here. I don't know. I looked up and oh my God, what a place. You know, now that courthouse has been there and I've seen it now for over 50 years. But I really didn't see it in the same light that you see it today. I mean, it's stupendous, and I think the people that were involved in that really did an excellent job, and the same thing with the archives and of course the German school, and then the list goes on. But the business people, they've all, you know, it's changed a lot since I first came here. So, you know, there were a lot of vacancies and things needed fixing up and so forth. And basically, they've been fixed up. Really, the town is really cute, you know. So I think it could, if it wanted to make the next step. And the next step, in my mind, would be that you'd be a destination for the holidays. And so I don't know. We're going to try to cover a lot here at the same time.
So this is 2 minutes, and this is Salzburg's Chris Crindle Market. Or sorry, Munich's.
Yeah, that happens to be the Marienplatz at that Munich, where they have their Chris Crindle Market. And looking at Michael's, well, how it started out, we made the first letter that you have there, and then it really raises more questions than Michael tried to answer that in the second letter. And now this film, and when you watch the films, you see that most of them are called a Chris Crindle Market, or maybe all of them are for that matter, I don't know. Because it reads like Chris Crindle Market Munich, Chris Crindle Market Salzburg, Chris Crindle Market Chicago. You know, one of these is Chicago. But you sort of get the feel of the holiday spirit in that film. And but Hermann's always had the holiday spirit. The churches, you know, there's so many events that go on during the holidays, but for whatever reason, we don't seem to capture the sales. Now, I think when I talked to Chad one time, and I think you said that, you know, your best month is December. Well, that's unusual, I think. Now, I don't know how representative he is, but our sales fall off maybe 80 or 90% in November and December. So, you know, when you think about September, October, And, you know, September is now becoming a little bit of Oktoberfest. And I think it's going to get to be more that way because of the warming, the weather, whatever. You know, whatever's causing it, it started bleeding into, in a good way, into September. And so after doing all this stuff, so I started thinking about, well, wait a minute. I think our sales are down 80 or 90% in November, December. You know, November's always been a loser financially, and December's a break even. You know, well, and then you start thinking, well, wait a minute. Nationally, the two best months out of the year are November and December. You know, those are your sales months. I mean, the day after Thanksgiving is Black Friday or whatever they call it. And so you get to thinking, what an opportunity this is to how we can really expand sales in a slow time for at least, I'd say most of us. I wouldn't doubt it. Most people that are like us where, you know, you could say September and October are so good that it's natural to fall, but I happen to, we have a house in California. We live close to Solvang, and actually they have wineries and distilleries and breweries, and so it's sort of similar in a way to Hermann. And actually, their streets are much, here there's 20 or 30% more crowded than they are, you know, in December. That's their best months, November, December. So, and you see all the people enjoying themselves and so forth. And they're, in that case, they're really around 30% Asian and maybe 20% Hispanics. You know, so it's, you can't say whether, I don't know. Anyways, I don't know that the people from Asia really that are visiting these places really know too much about Christmas, what it really means, you know, other than the gifts and things like that. So anyway, I think it's you can actually could increase your revenue and employment too by maybe tenfold, not 10%, by tenfold. That's a terrific number, and it helps out people like ourselves where you know, all our labor is paid, and so we do have to keep people around all year round because, well, we wouldn't have them for September and October. And so that, you know, is a challenge and runs up large losses for us until you get to September and October, you know. And they're huge. Now, not everybody probably wants to have such large losses or can afford such large losses. You know, the timing of it is unusual. I mean, in the first 3 months of the year, we lose $300,000. You know, it's hard to regain that money back. Right now, we're $209,000 in the hole. You know, so you depend upon September and October to get out of it. Now, last year, you know, the weather didn't cooperate. If you remember, it seemed like every good day about October it rained. Now, we all had a good time that we're here, but that did keep a lot of people away. So you can't really always depend upon the weather. That's another thing. So that's why you would also like to have November and December as a cushion, if you want to call it that, or however you might see it. But I think it's a natural progression. You have all the things, not all probably. You have most of the things that you need probably to be a destination city, a special Christmas city, whatever the right terminology, like everything else. I would think that if the city was interested, they would, you know, form a committee to find out, well, what's different in destination cities than Hermann? Hermann's the real thing. I mean, that's the best thing you've got going for you. You know, you're like the towns in Germany. They're the real thing too. But you know, Solvang is a town who decided 20, 30 years ago, whenever it was, to be a Danish town. So they look like Denmark. But I mean, that's contrived. That That's not natural. You are natural. Your buildings have been here since time began. And so the other thing about the holidays is that they're well known. The holidays have been around forever. And everybody knows about the Christmas holidays, and they're all in a good spirit. They want to have what's the time of giving presents and so forth. I don't know how to preach to you about the holiday because you know them better than I do. But it's a natural, and it would be easier, I think, in your marketing to promote something that we all know, which is Christmas, and second of all, promote yourself. I think, invest in yourself is probably the safest thing. And so that's about it. Hopefully, our letters cause some questions or whatever. We don't say that we know anything more than anybody else about this. We haven't, just really started thinking about and studying. I didn't really think about November and December until after the first two letters that you have. And I got thinking, why is really November and December like it is? Hermann's such a wonderful place. Why isn't it already a destination? And it's like, well, I don't know. There's obviously something missing, but I don't know what it is. But I don't think it's that hard to find out either. Anyway, that's more or less the story. It's an age-old story, as I said, been around for hundreds of years. So I'm not going to tell you about the holidays and so forth. But the other thing is that dawned on me is just like September now is becoming part of October. And so it'd be nice if we kept that open, when you talk about December, that it can fall also in November, because I think why Oktoberfest works is we have something every weekend. There's music every weekend, and now sometimes some of the weekends in September, but eventually it'll be probably every weekend in September. So I think that's the trick. I think we might only have one or two weekends in November and December that aren't already taken. I didn't get a chance to look at the list, but we know that in December you have the two Chris Crindle markets. They're both successful. And then you have, I think, the wine trail is one weekend. And so that's pretty much three. I mean, you're not going to do anything the Christmas weekend. We know from experience, everybody stays home at Christmas, rightly so, and the same thing with Thanksgiving, that they're, enjoying the turkey at home, I guess I would say. But and then in November, you just have to look and see, well, are there a weekend or two, and then the focus. If the town was really pulling on the same oar, if we were all, it's like we have lights on and off forever, but it's never been coordinated with anybody, like we get this urge, I guess, or whatever you want to say, and we get the lights on, but they probably, if we were a group acting, trying to go row in the same direction, we would turn them all at the same time or things like that. And then just thinking about where would you have it and how do you do it and things like that. I think all of you all have ideas or would have ideas, because once you start talking like I did, or have, it just keeps raising more and more questions, and we could be here for a couple of weeks, But it's a good topic. And a good opportunity. That's what I wanted to say.
I appreciate you making the presentation. I know our tourism department works very hard, and I know there's things on their planning books that and I remember when I moved to town that down 4th Street they used to have decorations across the street. I think the city, I know we don't have much money to do that, but help decorate the city itself to promote Christmas at that
Yeah.
time, but, you know,
Well, I think, I think it really is a big opportunity. And I think if you work backwards and say, what does it really take? And then you start thinking, you know, because you got the sales tax and the merchants, it will do better if, I mean, under my scenario anyway, you know, I don't know but you can tell from the sales tax how you do in November, December, as opposed to September and October. And I would add 30% to it. And that's what I think your potential is, because I see it in Sullivan, and I think that's your potential. If you were a destination city. Once you're, and this other beauty about it is, you don't reinvent yourself every year. I mean, it's pretty well done, you know. So your marketing budget would stretch further because you're not, you know, every time you come up with a new idea, well, it's new this and new that.
Can I add something?
Yeah, go ahead.
yes, sir.
So my dad was saying that, you know, I think well, I just want to echo what he said, that I think you guys should really appreciate, and from a St. Louisan perspective, perhaps, what an amazing town this is. I tell people it's the, you know, greatest small town within, like, I don't know, 2 states of where we are. And then I think what his idea and others' idea that kind of put this together is really an amazing one. And I didn't fully appreciate it until I was in Salzburg this winter, and like that was Munich, but it looked pretty similar in Salzburg. An amazing experience. It actually did it kind of extended. They had activities to draw people in, and just doing a little research to see like who else in the United States is doing it. You know, because I'm in St. Louis, Belleville, Illinois popped up. Never heard of it. I don't think they have anything like what Hermann could do in the kind of environment you could create here. And I do think there are so many people who are looking for this. Like, where do I go? Where do I take my kids for the holidays? Like it used to be able to take them to the mall. Well, I mean, maybe not now, right? So whether you're St. Louis or Kansas City, you don't take them to the mall to see Santa. And then things like Christmas carols, like I mean, that's something I grew up with. And I don't know where people do that. I think there is something where people are looking for this closeness, the experience you could get here in Hermann. And I do think that this is something, obviously it's huge in Germany and Austria. It seems like every town does it. Chicago does it, and there are other places in the United States that do it. But Hermann could be an amazing place for it, and it could really build on the you know, revenue that my dad was talking about. So thank you.
Yeah, it is, Hermann is, in the United States, it really doesn't have competition in the way it looks. I mean, it really is when you think about it. What town really is better than Hermann? Yeah, it's pretty, I can't think of it. I used to say, well, Carmel, probably California's got a creek and a river, a creek and an ocean, and here you got a creek and a river, you know, but out past Carmel, so, you know, things are really pretty nice, and I think it would be a natural step. Most people are in favor of Christmas, or, you know, celebrate Christmas. I don't know that you'd have much opposition. I mean, people don't talk nasty about Christmas really, or the holidays. You know, it's the holidays, and you know, the Jewish people celebrate the holidays also.
Very good. Well, thank you. Does anyone have any questions for Mr.?
Were you thinking about putting a committee together to talk to our tourism
Well,
director?
I would throw it, like she needs something else to do, throw it on to Tammy, and I've been approached by a couple citizens that would be willing to be on a committee, so, I mean, I think it's something that we should look into.
I'd be more than willing to serve on it.
So yeah, I think it's a great idea.
Maybe there'd be people who've been to some of these cities, you know. They're advertised. We have people from all over America going for the holidays in Germany, you know, to these Christmas markets. So it's not, I mean, it's a very accepted thing for people to do.
Have you
Well,
had
thank you very much.
opportunity to talk to the chamber about this?
Have I?
Yes.
No, I think, you know, actually the city is, somebody has to pull the merchants together, so to speak, and see if we can't row the boat in the same direction. You know, Paul pulling the oars at the same time. I mean, I don't know when the lights should go on, and, you know, it'd be nice that everybody turned them on at the same time, instead of how it's been for the last, forever. Here in Hermann, it's, well, it's, some do it, you know, different ways, you know. I mean, you know, some skip a year and so forth, including us. But it'd be nice if we were, if we knew what the mission was. Maybe like we used to have reenactments during the holiday. And now I think, what a stupid idea that was. Really, why didn't I think about Christmas? Well, I mean, it takes a while to seep in, you know.
I think the ideas have to evolve, you know.
Yeah, it's a stepping stone. And then, if, you know, 10 years ago, maybe I wouldn't say this about Hermann, you know, that you're ready for it.
There's some new traditions at Christmas time that are definitely, I think, catching on and becoming bigger every year. So,
Well, you see it in Solvay every year. There are more people on the streets until you can't really get through the town. I mean, that's really how. I mean, it's wall-to-wall people on the sidewalks, and I never called them and asked them what their sales were, blah blah, and all that. But you know, that's what you really need is the traffic. It is different than wine country, you know. All the B&Bs advertise, come to wine country, you know. The marketing would be different. I think, you know, it's the holidays, or it's the Kris Kringle, or it's a special Christmas city, whatever it is. You know, it's just different. But once you got it, once you have share of mind, then you get share of wallet. But you got to get share of mind. They got to think of you. Well,
Very
thank
good.
you.
Well, thank you so much. We appreciate your time.
Dolores, I like your idea of a committee meeting with Tammy.
And the chamber and anybody. I mean, it has to, everybody
Okay.
has to be involved.
Just like what Jim and I are doing.
But it can go, I think.
Yeah.
It can
Yeah,
do
I
something.
agree. You got to get every department, the chamber, the city, everybody on the same page to work for that common goal. Is they can bring more people, and that's what we need.
Yeah. I might say that if you're going to be a destination, you have to be special. And I don't know how you'd be special. You're already special, but maybe there's something, maybe it's marketing, I don't know. Maybe it is logo or a logo and a slogan. Maybe that's all that's missing. I don't know. But there is a missing ingredient. You would have thought you would be a destination city. And I think I just told you that, you know, with our numbers, you haven't reached your potential yet in November, December.
I think we're very fortunate that the things that we do have already, the Kris Kringle Mark, the house tour, the train ride with Santa, and just different things that are already going on, and just expand on them. You know, I think the team that works on that does a super
And maybe
job.
that's it, just having the marketing, you know, where people really, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that.
Yeah.
You have so many things going on.
Yeah, the markets draw a tremendous amount of people to town. And then they have the, what is it, the candlelight walk or the lantern walk for the kids. I think this last year it got canceled because of weather, but
Have bad weather.
yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But yeah,
For
there's always a lot
Augusta,
going
that's their
on.
best day, by the way, the lantern walk. Those students, I think they have 2 weekends where they have a lantern walk, and that's, for some of them, most of their sales, that's by far the best sales for the holiday, for the year.
So we will try and expand on that. Thank you for your input,
Okay.
and it's good seeing you.
Oh, it's good being here.
Very good. All right, we're going to move on to ordinance. We have one.
The ordinance for this evening is bill number 2026-32, an ordinance setting the 2026 annual rates of levy for ad valorem taxes for general municipal purposes, establishment and maintenance of free public parks, and municipal band purposes.
This is second reading. Do I have a motion to approve?
I move to approve the second reading of Bill 2026-32. Second read.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried. That's the only ordinance we have. We will move on to motions. I have a motion to approve the minutes from last meeting?
Make a motion to approve.
Motion's made, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried. Invoices for payment.
Move we pay the bills.
I have a motion to pay the bills, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried. Approved Katie Coates return to full-time employment status.
Motion to approve.
Motion's made, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried. Approved the hold harmless and indemnity agreement with the Scenic Regional Library District. Everybody understand what that's all about? If so, do I have a motion to approve?
Can we discuss this a little bit?
Well, we can, that's why I asked you about it. We'll let Dave explain it to you if you need to.
Well, sure. Everybody's aware of, I think, the library having flooded a couple of years ago, and I think that the building flooded before it was the library, when it was Alco.
Twice.
And it's just a building prone to flooding. There's not really much other way to put it. And so the library board instructed their executive director to get with Cochran Engineering and figure out if there's a way to better protect the building from future flooding. And so they came up with this design and this plan to add some facilities there and direct more of the water from the southeast corner directly to the ditch where the city's culvert pipe is. And so, as per city codes, they submitted that plan to the city, and our engineers looked at it, and in particular, Caleb Holman took the lead on this. He's with our engineering firm, and he brought up some concerns with the design, and basically wanted to make sure that, in his opinion, the library realized that this isn't going to prevent the building from flooding in every single circumstance. And then the library shot back and said, well, we understand that, and I think all parties understand that if there's 20 100-year floods, or say 50-year floods, in 17 of them, this plan will work better than not doing it. And at one time, it might just not help. But 2 other times, there actually might be more water in the library because of this than there would have been had they not done the project. Mainly due to the possibility of that basin filling first or early in a rainstorm, like if a bunch of rain comes down from the south and the east and fills that basin, you could have water flowing back into that pipe and back towards the southeast corner of the building, and the library could flood quicker, and it might have 3 inches of water throughout the building instead of only 2 inches of water in the building. And so we tease a little bit, you know, engineers being engineers. Yeah, okay, got it, you know. But they persisted and had Cochran do some more numbers and some more figuring and some more designing, and then they came back and you know, they think that the potential for water backing up more than it has on property owned by Vollmer around there isn't going to be as great or greater than expected. But there's still a slight risk, maybe in one of those 20 times, that the library gets more water. And our engineering firm was very, very concerned about liability and, well, what happens if the city gives them this permit, or the city gives them this go ahead and proceed letter, and then we get this 1 out of 20 rain next year, and they sue the city for you know, because we negligently failed to, or we negligently gave them the permit that they asked for, right? Per their own engineered drawings. And so the city, as you may or may not have a handle on, has what they call sovereign immunity. You can't sue the city for such things. And the officials have official immunity, where you can't sue the officials for doing their job on behalf of the city. Our engineers, Archer was worried about their own liability, you know, being the professional engineering firm giving the advice, and what if they say, you know, it's Archer's fault. And of course, there's, as I like to say, many people in line ahead of them, or us, mainly Cochrane. You know, and I don't know what their communications to the library board were, if they said that this is going to fix it 100% for all time, but I don't think so. Their executive director said that he and the board are very well know that this, in Cochrane's opinion, will just improve the situation. It won't be 100% guarantee. And so this got bantered around quite a bit, and on my advice I said, well, would it make our engineer, I shouldn't put it that way. I think that we can rest very well assured if we get the library to sign an agreement that says that if it ever floods again, they will hold the city harmless and will not sue us. And furthermore, they will indemnify us if anybody else, like any of their tenants, or the hospital, or people in the other building, or you know, if somebody sues because of this thing that they built, they'll take care of it, and they'll defend us, and they'll pay whatever. And so that they believe enough in that this is going to improve their situation that they're willing to do that.
So this is the only route they could take? They couldn't have made the drain behind the building larger?
I don't know.
And I guess my concern is, I thought you could not divert water onto someone else's property. So basically, they're taking water and putting it onto this, whatever they're called, DS.
Well, back in February or January, Vollmer provided easements. There's easements recorded.
But I'm not talking about the easements, I'm talking about the actual flow of the water.
Well, what Caleb determined after Cochrane came back with their initial numbers, at least the way I understood it, is that that's happening now, and that's been happening in rains, big rains that have been going back 20 years or ever since Bavarian Hills got built. And with this new pipe that they're putting into, he could not come up with any scenarios where it's going to go up more onto Vollmer's property than it already is. Initially, he was concerned about that, and but then when
Even
Cochrane
with the flow of the overflow of the lake, it's still sea tall. There's no issues.
I don't know. That's a better question for the engineers, but my opinion was...
But we don't have anything in writing from the engineers that...
They studied it for like 4 months. So I think they thoroughly vetted every option.
You know, my position is, if the library steps up and says, no matter what bad happens, city, if we will never sue you, and if Vollmer or the hospital or Eicherman or Believe or anybody else in that shopping center ever sues the city and or its engineers, we will hold you harmless and defend you, and we will pay any and all damages and pay legal fees and all. I mean, maybe it'll go up 2 feet higher on Vollmer's property, I don't know, and maybe Vollmer sues the library and the city, but then the library comes and defends and pays any and all damages, such as they could be. What damages could Vollmer have for water backing up an additional foot in a ditch that is already full of willows and cottonwoods and brush and junk? It's not like it's backing up into a real fancy building or something like
And one of my concerns was, and I think he answered it, is the buildings below that, burglary, drugstores, ARB signs, if they build that in, could that new piping affect the water level in their stores? But they're gonna hold us harmless.
Yes, from all claims, demands, actions, suits, judgments, liabilities, damages, losses, fines, penalties, costs, and expenses asserted by any third party, including the not, I mean, it's, any potential risk the city has been drafted away as assigned by the library, in my opinion.
And was this brought before the Board of Aldermen, since they said the city denied it prior? So,
Well, the city being our engineering firm, not being willing to recommend that the city provide its permit or letter with the green light until Cochran came back with more numbers. I guess I could have been more specific. I could have said, and whereas Cochran has refused to advise the city to provide its permit and or letter to proceed until, but I just put the city.
So we're authorizing them, we're gonna authorize them to put this storm water drain, and it's going to divert water onto private property, and there is no issues, there's no problem with that. I'm sorry, I just am trying to understand all this, and I just got it Thursday and trying to sort through some of the stuff, and I know the engineers went through it, I know you went through it. I don't know.
Anybody else have any questions? No other questions, I need a motion
I make a motion
to
to
approve.
approve.
A motion to approve, do I have a second?
Powers that be that, you know, have already looked at this and have thoroughly gone through it more than we have. Our city attorney says, good engineers spent 4 months on it. I'll second it.
Motion made and second, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Opposed?
Miss you,
Yep, only me.
we said aye?
Aye.
Okay. Ayes have it. Okay. All right. Approve the bid for precision precast for $16,550.17 for stormwater structure for the West 6th Street project.
Well, this was the only bid.
Yes, we did seek other bids, but they returned, that's no bid.
And this is in 1/2 cent sales tax, right?
Right,
And it is in the budget.
yes.
I move to approve the bid for $16,550.17 for stormwater West 6th Street project.
Motion's made, do I have a second?
Take it.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried. Caterers permit, Fernwell Distilling Company, Blacksmith Distillery, Wood Hat Spirits LLC for the Smoke Fest at the Amphitheater September 19th, 2026. Motion to approve those.
I make a motion to approve.
Motion's made, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried. We have a caterer's permit for Fernwell Distilling Company for the Hermann Harvest Festival at the Amphitheater September 26th.
Move to approve.
Motion's made, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried. Festival event application for the Herman's Lions Club, Oktoberfest, kettle corn, food, beverage sales, side lot of Worst House at the southwest corner of First and Schiller, October 2, 3, 4, 9, 10, 11, 16, 17, 18, 23, 24, and 25th, 2026. Do you have a motion to approve
I
that?
make a motion to approve.
Motion's made, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? No. Okay. Festival event application for St. George Church Fall Dinner, 128 West 4th Street, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., October 11th, 2026.
Motion to approve.
Motion's made, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried. Festival event application for A Touch of Hope. Festival of Hope with vendors, live music, food trucks, and children activities. Requested street closure of East 5th Street from Schiller Street to Gutenberg Street from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. October 2nd, 2027.
So it's the next year.
Any questions on that one?
I move to approve.
Okay.
Touch vote.
Motion made, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried. Special event application for 10 Mill Brewery. Alley closure requested. The closure of the alleyway between East 1st and 2nd from Gutenberg to just past the city parking lot from 4 to 8 p.m. for safety purposes of the public in the Black Shires on October 2nd, 2026. What they're doing there is each year we start with tapping the keg. This year they're going to bring the keg in on the Shires with a wagon. They're trying to promote that more. That's why they're requesting.
Who's doing the tapping?
Bingo.
The beer.
I hope I do better this year. Last year I was kind of... Anyway, do I have a motion to approve
I
that?
make a motion to approve.
Motion made. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried. Okay, we have some additions here. Application from Missouri Junior Chamber of Commerce for the beer and wine tent, Friday 10, October 2nd from 4 to 11, Saturday 10, October 3rd, October 10th, October 17th, 24th, and 31st from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. Beer tent at the Sesquicentennial Park. And motion to approve that.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried. Another temporary liquor catering permit application for Red Ox Distillery, the Claire and Eichmann Center for the Smoke Fest.
Make a motion to approve.
Motion's made. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried. I believe that is all of those.
I think there's a picnic liquor license too.
A picnic license.
It goes along with the JC's.
Yeah, that's the same thing.
That's the same thing.
Yeah, I thought
It's the
so.
liquor license portion.
Is it this memo
The
one?
memo.
Yes.
This is separate.
Huh? It's separate,
So-
okay.
You approved their event, now you need to approve their liquor license.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you. Sorry about that.
Just gonna
I just
stand
thought they
on
were
the
one and the same. Okay.
I need to.
Picnic liquor license for the Junior Chamber of Commerce for the license for October 2nd, 3rd, 10th, 17th, 24th, and 31st at the Sesquicentennial Park.
I move to approve.
Motion's made, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried.
I'm happy there's a organization that's taking the torch.
Yes.
Well, it's still the same organization by that, but I mean, I don't know if somebody else is running it or...
Well, it's not the JC's.
Not a true white part.
No, it is
Some of the
JC's.
Chamber of Commerce is the
So they're gonna be kind of the umbrella organization this year, correct me if I'm wrong. They're gonna call out for other organizations to volunteer a weekend apiece to carry the
So we
load.
can keep it going.
Mhm.
Very good. All right, no other business, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion made, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you, everyone that's still here, and those that are watching.